Hey, it's Christian with Tall Music, and I'm showing off the Mover 6 cart from Gruv Gear. Here you can see I've got it loaded up with a ton of stuff, and I wanted to show off just what I put on there, so other guys have got an idea of how big this thing is, how much it can hold, and what it can do. So I looked at several carts. I looked at the rock and rollers that everyone talks about, but I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted solid wheels for one, and I definitely wanted something to give me a lot of configuration options, and the Mover 6 certainly does that. So here what I've got loaded up are several bins worth of gear. I've got 2 bins worth of moving heads, 2 bins worth of cables, a bin of miscellaneous, and a bin of flat parts. So I take these to every event because I never know how much cabling I'm going to need, what I'm going to set up, and it just makes for a solid foundation for all my gear. As well, you can see I've got 4 QSC K10s in their bags. I've got a bag full of pipes, the leg extensions for my 4-foot table that's on here. I've got a anti-fatigue mat, DJSX in its case, a small SKB case with processing. I have a backup controller inside a small old CD case I've recycled. My computer bag. I got my facade and speaker stands in the bag here. Now the one thing that's not on this, of course, is my sub and also my lighting tree. So when I'm taking those, the sub goes in what I used to use for all my events, for all my ins and outs, is a folding hand cart. So this is what I actually put my sub on top of, and I can wheel that along behind me. So the Mover 6 is actually relatively easy to use, easy when it's loaded with this much gear. It has a nice center pivot, which I have to show you a trick here to move away from the cabinets that are behind here because I didn't want to smash them. Because it has that center pivoting wheel, you do have to watch how it rotates. But you can see I've got a couple 100 pounds worth of gear on here, and one hand, it's easy to maneuver. So you do a lot of these little S turns, especially when you're in a tight hallway or maybe a tight elevator. But it does actually fit into most elevators. I haven't encountered a small one yet that I haven't been able to get into. And in the event that you do enter one of these smaller venues where you have to maybe think about how you're going to load in a smaller cart, you do have configuration options to fold it up. So I'll show you one of those in a minute. So here's the mover in the half configuration. As you can see, I folded up the back half of the cart to create this additional side, but to make it smaller. So the first side of the cart is the same as it was previously. Got the handle at 90 degrees to the base. But here I've got the second half of the base at 90 degrees to the other base. And I've got the handle extended fully to create a higher back. So I have effectively half of what I had on the other cart load, maybe a little bit less. So maybe it takes me more than 2 trips to do what I could do with the cart folded down, but I can certainly fit this cart into even the smallest elevator or hallway. And it's quite maneuverable now with the 2 handles. The nice thing about this, as I said, is multiple configurations. So you've got the ability to do something like a table. I wouldn't necessarily do it this way because of the way it locks. But certainly I have seen somebody suggest configuring it for the base of a scrim or the base of a screen. So what you could actually do is put your screen across here on a board, and then up from the top, and have a drape of some kind in front to skirt it off. But this is your wide configuration, as you can see, pivoting on the center wheels. And then to fold it up, fold the handles down, fold the handles down, and drop it. And that's the smallest configuration it goes into. So I find it's not too bad when I load it in the front seat of my car. A lot of guys will have a little bit more room in a truck, obviously, for this. It is hefty. I don't know how Brian Red would haul this thing around by himself one-handed, but it certainly does make it easy to haul gear around. So hopefully this video helped you out, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below, and I'd be happy to answer them for you. I'm Christian with Tall Music.